Oh, you didn't ping to Jabba. Eric, you didn't ping to Jabba, goddammit.
Jabba.
Apparently.
You're
Either
back.
that or it got buried.
Hey,
Did it
we're
get
live. We're live. We're live. Yeah, I did ping.
You
It must have
didn't
got buried.
So you'll have to forgive me. There may be times where I just like stop talking because I'm focusing.
You're in slow
focus.
motion.
You definitely 100% did not ping.
Hold on. Let me look. I'll check. Ooh, it was a short one. No, it's broken then. Ping's broken. So hello, everybody.
Wah, wah, wah. Hey,
Yeah, it did not broadcast successfully, but the command is out there. So it's the interface is broken. Go,
That'd be why.
Soth, you can probably look at broadcasting. So hello, everybody. Hi. There's a Keepstar in T5.
Who would have thought it?
And we might have a little video on that sucker.
Somewhere.
Let's see, should we zoom in on it?
Definitely not live, and Eric is definitely not having his camera on his ship, so people can actually like try to decloak him. There we go. That's better now.
Classic.
You like that better?
Deactivate the tactical camera so you don't have a like giant thing pointing at your
There
ship.
you go. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Feel better now. Feeling better. There it is. Oh, looky. Oh, the little dude's coming. Oh, look. Oh, where'd he go? Yay! Alrighty. Yeah, so it looks like, sorry folks, the ping is broken. And there we go. But we've got McLeod, we've got Soth, we've got Dawn, who's in really slow motion today. I don't think she's had coffee, boys and girls.
No.
I
feel
am
like she might not be.
out of coffee. It feels bad, but I drank it all. So what are we going to talk about today? Keepstar?
Maybe.
Let's keep stuff.
Keepstar.
Hey, let's talk about
Let's talk about it. Looks like Keepstar. How the hell did they get a Keepstar in T5? I got to ask you, Seth. What the hell's going on?
It's called a freighter, and they probably use a Titan to shoot the freighter in system, and then they right-click anchor.
I mean, you could do it pretty quickly. Like, just light the cyno,
And
light
then-
bridge, go through, drop, Keepstar.
I
and
know.
then the
Anchor,
Keepstar starts unfolding inside the freighter, and it bursts out of the freighter like the chest burster in Alien.
Oh,
Right.
could you imagine if if putting down a Keepstar destroyed the freighter that you're in? Like,
Yeah, it actually uses the freighter.
literally uses the freighter up.
That would be amazing.
Random thought.
Like the
That'd be pretty cool.
What were they called again in Command and Conquer?
Oh, the mobile construction
Yeah, that one.
thing. That one. Yeah, that.
Do you remember when you had to drop an egg, then you had to bring a bunch of freighters in, you had to fill the egg, then you had to
Yes.
protect the egg?
Pepperidge Farmer remembers.
It seems like dropping Keepstar is a little easier than that.
Also, a
little bit.
lot faster.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
I'm sure
Caravaggio.
certain logisticians. I'm sure certain
Mac,
logisticians
you
would
sound
say
like the devil right now.
that's fine.
Yeah, you're bad. By the way, Eric
Hey.
upgraded his internet connection to like super giant fiber fast.
You need to relog, Eric.
That's-
Am I sounding bad?
McLeod.
Dude, we can't understand you at all.
Yep, okay, thumbs up. There he is. Just don't leave, Skype.
And no, this is not supposed to be the meta show because there's no Matani here, and there's no Brisk here.
Yeah.
Although Brisk might be watching. Hi, Brisk.
Is brisket?
Is Brisk in the shower? Inquiring
Oh, Brisk.
minds want to know.
Brisk, you need to get out here. Yeah. Need someone to, like, cast this while, I'm trying to single-handedly save this life.
Dizzy Dig sends his love to you, Don.
I saw it.
Nice.
Thank you. I don't know who they are, but thank you.
Yeah, there you go. So, yes. Anything but the war. I don't know.
There's a tournament going on.
Sorry, aren't I? They're probably tired because I went to town Thursday. You guys probably didn't see it, but I fucking spent like 2 of the 3 hours we were cast. I did not plan on going 3 hours, but I spent like 2 of the 3 hours just ripping into everything that Billy and them said on Sunday last week. It was great.
Is that your phone? Was that Theta Thursday?
Yeah.
I think it's quite hilarious. Like, Delph got nerfed like over and over again because goons are living there. And after Delph got nerfed into the ground, Tess decides to move over there and live there. Like, great plan.
Well, I mean, they said it during their soda why they want to take it, because if they only have to fight maybe one group, Delph is pretty defensible. You've only got a couple places to come from. Easy in, easy out. You can't get cut off from your ability to get logistics. So yeah like
there's no like space in the middle of it where everyone can literally just move in without any issues because it's owned by NPCs. Oh wait.
Yeah, what was it? They said that like Dell was easier to defend from than Esoteria, which I don't know anything about ESO, so maybe. But Test is screwed either way because at the end of the war, no matter what happens with us, PanFam has no one else to shoot now but them.
Mm-hmm.
And we already vowed vengeance against them immediately. Like, we would, rest up maybe a little while and then go right at it, right? So, what does Tess got to do?
Who they're gonna call?
Ghostbuster! I just want to know, like, what was PanFam's bright idea with this? Like, just kill everything and make the server just Panda Space? Like, I'm sorry, NC, that Goonswarm destroyed your alliance 10 plus years ago. Get over it. But have they bubbled that Keepstar, or is there only one bubble on it?
I don't even see a bubble.
Is there? I thought there was one in the bottom right corner.
I'm not seeing it. Do you see it on the stream?
Okay.
So, do you think Test finally realized that it was much more fun to actually fight for keeps than to bubble fuck it and kill the server and no one actually gets a fight?
I'm I'm interested in the fact that there's nobody on it. But how far out till the thing starts?
22 minutes.
I also want to point out that it's on grid with a few of our fortresses.
That's nice.
You're back to Demon Cloud. What did you do?
We're still standing, everybody, or not?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it looks like they've got on one of their structures, they got some Falcons, some Arazu, some Ares.
So Sinos.
Yeah. So we'll see what they're going to do. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
Or maybe it's not going to be.
Dirkistan says they have plenty ready to jump in.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
So
I should
do
be better
we-
now.
Right.
Yes, you are much better. Thank you.
Dawn, Apparently you're too loud.
Who?
Turn me down then.
You're not too loud.
Yeah, penis. I have because that's all that's been available. We did talk about the ESS changes like crazy on Thursday. What was the other thing that I noticed? Oh,
What are you
ore
doing?
prices.
Yeah? Or prices.
Ore
Wait.
prices. I don't know if you've looked at it. Guess what's the most valuable besides Mercoxic? Because that's always number one. What's the most valuable ore out there now? It's quite ironic.
I don't know what.
Feldspar?
No, Feldspar is through the floor. It's like 200 ISK per unit.
Okay.
Ochre.
Oh,
Dark
fucking okay.
Dark ochre is the most valuable ore in the game, besides like the Talasnite and shit. That like go with like normal stuff, right? Ochre.
You know, the dark ochre rule now, everybody's glad that they mined all that ochre.
Yeah.
Found a
Good work, James.
We're not Celeste to look at the prices. I found a pocket of Nice and ochre, and I was like, oh my god, look at all the money. So I started mining the Nice, and then I checked the prices. I was like, wait a minute. I would be remiss. I switched to the ochre, and I've been mining ochre. Like, I did it like all last night as much as I could. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Are you kidding me? What? All those people who just kept ochre and never sold it, and they just like junked it. I want you to know that the price almost 6 times, because it went from like 150 ISK per unit, roughly, maybe average, to 750.
Wow.
Dawn is so loud that it's activating my cloud's microphone.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing.
Oh,
You
no,
don't
no,
even
hang on,
show
no,
up.
that's why.
Possible.
No, I know exactly why. It's because before I had RTX voice on, and so like Valhalla was really fucking it over.
So are you telling me that
There we
RTX
go.
voice was causing all of your issues?
Yeah, my video card was causing all of my audio issues. Why? What's the problem with that?
Oh, no. I'm just sitting here enjoying my AMD smugness.
AMD
What, your AMD smugness that? yeah, because you have like your variant of RTX voice there, right?
Yeah.
I don't need it.
You don't need it.
No.
So
Dude.
all of the background sound and stuff like that is being taken out of your microphone
McCloud,
just by magic.
what background sound?
Yeah, exactly. You've got no background sound in so you don't need
Exactly.
RTX voice.
Exactly.
But if you do, you're fucked. That's what I'm saying.
There are other options than RTX voice for that. You know that, right? It is
I know
not
that. I know.
NVIDIA
I know
all
that.
of a sudden
I know that.
invented this technology.
Soth. I'm a fucking audio engineer. I know.
All right.
I know
then.
all of the various different techniques and all of the various different plugins that you can get. And I've tried pretty much most of them.
We need a.
And the ones that I haven't tried are just variants of the ones that I have tried.
We need a sticker to put over McLeod. I'm a fucking audio engineer. I love it.
The hot micing guy with the audio issues. I'm a fucking audio engineer.
Hold it, he's talking, but we can't hear him. But he's miking up, but we can't hear him. That's so weird. By the way, while he's doing that, I want to give shout outs to.
I mean, you can take the piss all you want. I really don't give a fuck.
Ben Vincent, Spidem, Spy Drone 101, Vape It Out, and just now Kazamix or whatever. So yeah, and Dr. Ursus Nero says, it's Goon Stream when they're talking about mining over the real subject at hand. Really, we got 17 minutes before the real subject even starts. So
The real subject. Let's talk about the real subject at hand, shall we?
yeah,
The really interesting thing, and you guys are actually the first to hear this. So there you go. I started working on anger games again. So, if you are interested in running an EVE tournament, if you want to help out with that, in any way or form, if you want to help with the rule set, if you want to help with actually running it, being one of the referees, do reach out to me. This is in very early planning right now, so there's literally nothing. So that people who do actually want to help with the rule sets and shit can actually help, instead of coming in 2 months later and being like, "Oh, what did you do it like that? That's dumb." Happens every time, by the way.
Resist Bite just subbed for 2 months. Thank you, with their Prime subscription, which is free, by the way, guys. Give us those Bezos bucks with those Prime subscriptions. I think some people saw it. They're a little distraught out there because we're not talking about the Keepstar that is on the screen in T5Z.
Guys, if something happens, we're ready to go. If something throws down, we got it. Listen, I've got Brisk on speed Discord to be like, let's go. Let's start casting here. You get the traffic report, I'll get weather.
By the way,
file, but for Discord, you literally only have to click one button.
I know,
so like normal Discord, but it sounds cool.
It's not like he's a staff member in the channel, right? He can just pop in anytime he wants. By the way, I was making fun of all those people that were just complaining that we weren't talking about a Keepstar in T5. It's very, very troubling to us. Clearly, I mean, it's right there on your screen, right there. Sorry, if you guys didn't see it. Briss is just a line member. What's he going to do? You need Maffoon for really good commentary. You know, Maffoon does do nice some commentary, but I've got Sothrasil here and Don and, you know, McLeod. You know, they're good too, guys. You know, I suck. They're good. D5, T5, whatever it is, you know. You know, 220, 221, whatever it takes. If you guys know that quote. Anybody know that quote in the staff channel here?
Probably because I'm not American.
Probably. Yeah, it might be. So there's basically, you know, 2 types of electric you put in your house, right? You know.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's so 220. I think that's 2-phased. And you need it for like washer, dryers, ovens, things like that, right? So there's this show called Mr. Mom, and Michael Keaton is Mr. Mom, and the one guy comes in and says he's doing some construction work, trying to act really manly because Martin Mull's there to pick up his wife for work, and he says, "You're gonna wire it all 220." He goes, 220, 221, whatever it takes. It's kind of there's no 221. It's kind of the joke.
220, and it's 2-phase in America.
Yep.
And it's 1-phase in Europe.
No, you have to come back, take your shower real quick.
Yeah,
real
come on,
quick,
Breast. We need shower cam. No, we don't. Sorry, that was a bad choice.
Which is also why it's so hard to get 400 volts in America, because in Europe we literally just take 3 phases. Boom.
I love Sherrar. He wants a recount of the Keepstars. Well, you know, we are really just the Delve canvassing board here for Keepstars. So we're here. We're just validating the count as we're here. So, you know, that's as political as we get, guys. Suzaka, thank you for following. It sounds like a cool name to say. Suzaka. You guys want to try? Don?
Suzaka.
McLeod? Not going to try. Soth, you going to try? Suzaka?
Kizaka?
Okay, there you go. You see Risk shower cams on his OnlyFans site. Yeah, that scares me. All right, so what else we
finally gotten around to actually making one.
Wait, goons are bringing 1,300 people? Man, those damn blobbers. I really hate when they're blobbing like that.
Blobbers. The
Ingvar, show me the math on that, because I kind of doubt that.
So here in America, we are less than 7 days away from the big Thanksgiving celebration, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be fun, you know. We got all our stuff ordered. Be cooking some turkey soon. It's like it's one of my top 2 favorite meals.
We already got into the
This
cooking
is-
part of the show?
We're into the cooking part because
Okay.
you know it's about 10 minutes of cooking part and there's 11 minutes till the keep star thing. You know, so
None of that.
yeah. So we only have 2 Americans here, but we stuff the turkey quite often with stuffing. Do you guys do that in Europe? Do you guys eat turkeys?
Actually,
and stuff them with
like-
stuffing?
Well, they don't have a
Actually stuff it?
Thanksgiving, but
Yeah.
you do it at Christmas, right?
No. We do have Thanksgiving. Okay? We are Christians too.
Yeah.
So confused.
It's just not as big as it is in the US, and we don't eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
There you go. But do you do stuffing inside the turkey when you eat turkey?
No.
Okay.
Like, we have stuffing, but we don't actually, like as far as I'm concerned, like, I don't actually stuff it in the actual, like, turkey.
The turkey itself, you just kind of make it and bake it.
Yeah.
I've had both. I like my stuffing a little bit drier, so
Mm.
In my
yeah,
whole
if
life,
it's too mushy, it's not good.
I've only had turkey prepared as the whole thing, right? Once, because usually you only use part of it because a whole turkey is just way too much for a family, right?
But that's what leftovers are for.
Yeah, I mean, you're eating
Yeah.
turkey
That's
sandwiches.
the point of
Yeah.
making a turkey. Is you get to make sandwiches and stuff like for days afterwards.
Yeah, but I mean, if I just have to decide between having a turkey and having 2 to 3 ducks, then I'm going for the ducks.
Duck's pretty good. I'm not gonna argue there.
Yeah, I'm going with the turkey.
Yeah.
The so there's lots of different stuffings in the U.S. We do just a traditional, you know, we do a savory stuffing. Don, are you the savory stuffing or the like sweet?
Well, sweet would just be bread pudding. So,
Well,
no, I
not
like
exactly.
savory.
Because you know my German counterparts in our family, they like to put
Brisk.
fruit
I'm from
in
Indiana, by
theirs.
the way.
They like to put like fruit. They're a sweet, and a lot of people in the
I've
South
never
they put yeah, they have some fruit mixed into it, like cranberries and things, and it's sweeter. It's not savory. I don't like it, but I'm a savory one. And then a what is it? You know, down south you have the cornbread stuffing.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
the hard. I prefer a white bread stuffing, like
Yeah.
of some kind, whatever it is. But cornbread stuffing can be good too. Like, you know,
Chestnut
my favorite way to prepare a turkey, and this everyone should try it because it is the best way. I don't care what anyone says. You brine it. Take a
Mhm.
turkey, put it in a giant bucket of basically salt water, but it's like with other stuff and flavors in there too. I found some random recipe. It required like orange peels and like peppercorns, and I could barely get the turkey in the thing to brine it. Put it in the fridge for like 24 hours, and then took it out to bake it the next day. Unfortunately, the turkey's soaking wet, so I take it out and I try to dry it off as best I can. This is the only turkey I've ever made on my own, and I had to get it in the bake bag for the turkeys. And I had no one to help me, and I'd already buttered the turkey skin.
Ooh.
So guess who's sitting there wrangling a dead, wet, buttery turkey, trying to get it in a tiny plastic bag it would not fit in. So at some point, I was like, ugh, and pressed the turkey against my shirt to hold it in place on one end. So my whole shirt was just butter and rosemary and orange peel covered. I was like, I'll just watch it. It's fine. Just watch it.
Next time I see you, Don, I'm just gonna bring you a stick of butter and a thing of rosemary. It's handed to you.
It was
Yeah,
Whereas
cheesecloth. Yeah, that's good too. But that's hard to, you know, if you don't have that on hand, right? You know.
I did not. the plan was brine it and then put it in the oven bake bags to try and keep it, and then cook it upside down. Like there were 3 different methods all going together. It was the best turkey I've ever had. Not just because I made it, but because
The
it just
brining
turned
really
out
works.
really good.
You were
The
so
brine
right on
really does work. It really does.
A lot of people deep fry it. I've had deep fried turkey. I've never deep fried it myself. It's
Like a whole one.
yeah,
You
yeah.
took the
You
whole
like
thing and just
Fucking cheap.
you
Really?
you-
Seriously?
There's
Yeah.
a metal thing that you put in it, and you just hook a little hook on it, and by the way, you have like a propane thing, and it's just a cylinder, and the oil gets hot,
okay.
and you put the entire turkey, you lower it into the oil, and
Jesus
boom.
Christ.
Yep, duck inside a chicken, turducken.
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 Actually, that really works well
Yeah.
because the duck is so fatty and oily that the fat, there's a ton of oil that comes out of this thing, and it just leaks through the rest of the meat. And there is a reason why you put the duck in there at
If
least, because it
if your
really.
duck is still fatty, then you're doing it wrong.
No, duck's self-based. The only
Yeah.
duck I've ever made, I did nothing to it other than put a little butter on the skin and some paprika, salt and pepper, put it in a deep dish pan,
No.
baked it, and then when I pulled it out, there was an inch. Okay, this is a 13 by 9 pan, and there was an inch of fat left over from
Oh,
this
I
duck.
believe it. I believe.
I was like, well,
And
all right, that'll
the
work
big-
out for me.
Yeah, the big
Over
challenge
days.
with the turducken though is you got to debone it. I mean, you got to debone the whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
It's just a whew.
It's true.
4 minutes 55 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what was it?
Local is at 187.
So at South, I think you'll appreciate my family or the Polish family's tradition of Christmas, because at Thanksgiving we do the turkey like everybody else, but because it's such an ordeal to make a turkey, that at Christmas we don't make turkey, we make ham and sausage.
That's more a thing in the east. We don't do that in the north. In the north,
But it's still
we-
good though.
we actually do like ducks and geese and
It's just duck's never taken Indiana's the 4th duck producer in the U.S. and it's just never taken off. I'm sure people do it, but in my family, my grandpa made a recipe for Polish sausage in 1947 on the back of a cigarette carton, and it's pretty dang good. Unfortunately, though, it will make everything in your freezer smell and taste like garlic for at least a month.
Wow.
It's pretty potent.
I don't know
That is
why
pretty potent.
why ducks haven't taken off more, because let's be honest, ducks are the best.
It's,
I mean, why have a goose if you can have a duck, right?
we don't have goose either.
Yeah, we don't
I mean,
really
people
do
have
goose.
goose, but it's just not common.
When people say goose for the holidays, we really think of London and England.
Turkey.
That's where the people eat goose, but we don't know for sure in America. That's just kind of like what we see in the Dickens books. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever had goose. That's strange. We used to have the Thanksgiving dinner twice, Christmas Day, and we'd add ham to it on Christmas Day, and
A nice honey baked ham or something, or sugar ham.
yeah, just
And
any
make
ham.
sandwiches later.
Back in the day when we used to do it in our family, there was no such thing as honey baked ham. It was so long ago. I
That's
was
true.
8 years old, right? By the way, we are down
was
to
it?
2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Woo. I will
Used
say the
to
other
do,
thing that's a fantastic Polish tradition is there's not a single green thing at our Christmas dinner. Everything is white, orange, yellow, or brown, or gray. Those are kind of the color palettes. And pink for the ham. So
Yeah, we don't do it anymore, but there used to be the Feast of the Seven Fishes on Christmas Eve.
7
Wait.
fishes?
Oh, yeah.
Are you telling me there's nothing violet on your table?
The cabbage is boiled down to that it's translucent. We don't use purple cabbage for the sauerkraut.
No. You don't make sauerkraut out of red cabbage.
I didn't think you would. That's I was like, what would be violet other than purple cabbage?
But yeah, red cabbage is it gets violet when you cook it.
I think because we were poor, that we just used like regular cabbage, so it was just bland. My grandma added sugar to her cabbage, so it was sweet and sour cabbage.
Mmm, sweet
No,
and sour.
Interesting.
It's pretty normal.
My dad hates it.
You add a bit of sugar to cabbage. Depending on the cabbage, you add a lot. Like red cabbage, for example, gets a lot of sugar. Otherwise, it doesn't taste like anything.
Mm-hmm. So, Captain Zeta, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated, sir. Or ma'am, whichever it is. We have a couple people zipping around the old keep starter, 49 seconds. So we're almost at the half-minute mark to see what happens. So the system count is 199 people so far. So we got some positionals. There we go. We got some activity happening here.
Ah.
So we've got. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, you got some sinos going up on the Keep Star right now. You got somebody above the keep. Here they come. Here they come.
Hopefully this goes better than our
Really? Is
cast.
there a Rorqual
You know.
and a Minakawa? Just so you know. 2 Minakawas and a Rorqual and a
The
Falcon.
Rorqual's just to put in the core. That's a hauling Rorqual.
Wow, this dispense is killing me.
I know, I know. We are onlining. We are in low power, ladies and gentlemen.
So those are probably just there to keep that sign up.
You seriously
Probably.
expect?
Yeah, the fax is probably there just to make sure that the Sino doesn't die, that they can get help to that Rorqual if needed. Oh yeah, did you? That does remind me. South, you brought it up earlier today. Have I done anything? Or was it Eric? One of you asked me if I'd done anything in Eve yet today. Yeah, I did. I woke up after an hour and a half of sleep, and John Hartley pinged out, and we went and spent about 3 minutes absolutely murder zoning some units. We lost 2 bill, and they lost 20, 16, 20, somewhere in there. It was pretty good. So that was my morning.
Hmm.
There you go. I woke up, had a little deep dish Chicago pizza. Did a little work, you know.
I haven't even had food yet. I should order something.
Lots of dead space.
You're
Should
talking
we
about
make
turkey.
should we make the game screen bigger? Do we care?
Oh,
I don't know. It doesn't seem like a lot going on here.
can you like turn the camera to face like the gate or something, or are we just gonna keep staring at the building?
I personally would have just had it like full screen in the background. But that's just me.
We can get rid of your guys' heads. It's fine. At some point.
Yeah, we can do that too. Let's see. You know, we'll spin around the system. We can make it bigger. We'll just move it right around and.
So
make
what do you
it
think they're
big.
gonna name this one?
Look, we got McLeod up there. Look at him, giant.
Oh, there's the time.
Why am I center screen? What the fuck's that all about?
I fixed it. There we go. There we go. There's.
Oh, there they are.
Oh, hello.
Bumpity bumpity.
Dippity boppity. Get off my property. So, does anyone know what the numbers are? Because, like, there's so much, like, I've had to mute a lot of stuff because there's so much chatter in my ears. I don't know, like, how many do they have? How many do we know? Do we know?
they probably have more.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was a given.
Dirkistan says they have 4,000 ready to go.
Just because you have 4,300 in the system does not mean they're ready to go. I can guarantee you at least 10% are just that they're left over from Lockhand earlier today and doing nothing.
Yeah, so we're about 100, we're 150 above where we started here when they started jumping in.
Can you zoom in a little bit? I want to
Yeah.
keep an eye on, see what they're doing.
How's that?
Yeah.
And
Do you think
docking.
they're gonna? Do you think they're gonna stage out of this one, or that this is just like another building?
So it's jump and dock, right?
Yeah, you don't want to, because you see them bouncing around. You don't want to. He'll go like woo if you don't do it right away. Oh God, poor. I mean, like, what is the purpose of this building, though? Any guesses?
They want to be really, really good at gate camping on the queue. I don't know.
Probably. That's what someone said, like, oh, they can Skynet from there. A, that's really far from the gate, so good luck. And B, okay. I feel like this is more of just a, like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Trying to get us to start the fight. So they're like, alright, we're just going to keep throwing down.
Also, like...
I mean, this is like the most passive-aggressive war in the world.
It is, because they refuse to start it. We're not dumb enough to start it.
Does this mean they're giving up as a terrier, by the way? Like, if they
announce
that
that's
they're
what they said.
moving to Delve, then it means they're giving up on Esoteria, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what they said.
So, like, are they winning? Are they losing? Like,
Well,
what is this?
They said that they wanted Delve, or agreed on who was going to get Delve 5 months ago.
Yeah,
At the start of the
divvying up the space before you have even taking a single system, right? That's a smart move.
Well, I mean, who else would you put over here? If let's say we got pushed out,
the funny
who
thing
else would
is,
sit here?
the funny thing is, the more they keep doing this, the more they're basically showcasing that, like, you know, the game is predominantly an N+1 game, and skill doesn't really matter too much. And so, like, what does that actually kind of, like, how does the knowledge of that, like, predominantly affect the game? Because I think it'll affect the game significantly. Like, once you actually, because it's always been like, oh, you know, people have always kind of discussed whether N+1 is a genuine thing, but I think this is like probably the true test, maybe. And I think if you can if Pappy wants to confirm that this game is just N+1 and nothing else matters, then I mean, I have this feeling that that's going to be bad for the game.
I just want to know, like, what is PanFam gonna do? Like, they already own, like, there's already like what 6 blocks together up there, and all of them are in bed together. So like, none of them are gonna break up unless like Lady Scarlet offends goblins or something, I guess. Norris is only there just as a couch.
Here's what they're gonna do. At some point, they're gonna claim victory, no matter if they like won it or not. Doesn't matter. They're gonna claim victory, and then a week later, They're gonna start stabbing each other in the back.
Is it really stabbing each other in the back though if they're not working together anymore? Or are you saying like next week as an example? They'd all of a sudden be start like, oh, we're just gonna go shoot this guy now.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
I'm just counting down the day when Norris from Frat finally says fuck it and just like goes down and shoots AOM. Like I don't know how much longer he can wait. You can tell he's like raring to go.
Also, like, where did all the salt in the chat come from? Like,
We have a Keepstar on screen, and Pappy over here wants to circle jerk because, like, whoa, we got another building online.
Well,
so, like,
great.
it's gonna happen.
You got another Keepstar. Thumbs up. Well done.
How many do they have
What
now
does this
total?
say?
I mean,
I'm just gonna put this out here. If you want to come on the show and actually talk about what's happening, no matter what alliance you are in, come on over. Like, if PGL wants to come on the show, sure, we'll have him. If Billy wants to come here, come on over. Like,
I don't
we'll
know
talk
if
with
they're
you.
allowed to come on Iron. Are they?
Do you mean as in like INN won't allow them to come on, or do you mean like their alliance won't allow them to come on?
Oh,
to
and no, like I know
INN?
they are their alliance. So I know that they could on their side they could come on, but I don't know if
I don't have any rules. Unlimited
Oh
rules.
yeah, I know. Maybe with like PGL and like Philly, you know, they don't really have like they don't have to sort of, you know, they're not disallowed to come onto certain things if they want to come onto certain things. But maybe like I don't know. I don't know what it's
That's why I'm
like.
like,
What
I don't know.
whether there's rules for that in Pappy in general.
Yeah.
What?
So
No
a
idea.
little station identification. We got Fredent Sakas.
Oh, Billy asked to get dragged. Then
Oh.
sure drag me.
Oh, did he in here?
Oh, Billy is on
But Billy's on the wrong Discord.
He's on the INN Discord.
Billy, you're in the wrong one.
Oh, let me. I'll just invite him over.
Yeah, throw him an invite.
I want to preface that I have no say in this at all. I am
What? Did we all of a sudden become a serious?
No, we're not serious. Hey, I was just trying to give shout out to people, you know. But no, now
I mean, you
now
could
I gotta
pretend this is a
drag and
serious
drop
Eve show.
Billy.
You,
Here he
you
is.
can
Oh,
pretend
hold
that
on.
this
He's
is a
serving me.
serious
I
Eve
gotta fix your server me, Billy. Hold on. Okay, you
Yeah.
sure you can be good, Billy? Hey, man, how you doing?
Good day, boys. How you doing?
Philly.
I'm like,
I haven't heard from you in a long time.
It's trying to keep the profile a little lower. Trying to.
seriously?
I gotta ask.
yeah.
Are
Go
people
ahead.
bothering you outside of game?
Well, no.
They should. Why would they bother him out of game? That'd be dumb. But are they?
I mean, I know I send messages randomly, at 3 a.m. But like, are people?
I said I
bothering
wasn't going to talk about that, Don. That's on you. But I've had more than a few angry messages over time. That's just par for the course, though. Not to worry
Really?
about
Seriously? People like send angry messages over a game? Are you serious?
Are
I think
you
that's just
shocked?
so dumb. I know, but I just think it's dumb. Like, why would you do that, right? It's a game. I don't know.
It's
Because
dumb,
EVE Online
but
isn't
they're
EVE Online isn't just a game, right? That's the unfortunate reality of the situation.
Yeah.
EVE Online is a very serious, very heavy-duty, very time-invested hobby more than anything, and people get pretty upset when you do something in their game or their hobby that they feel is threatening the balance of what they enjoy or what they do, right?
Which makes it even more
Yeah.
fun to call people out for doing such a dumb thing.
It just is what it is. I don't know.
Actually, real quick, what are your Christmas traditions? We were talking about that for like an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Do you have
these are
any
the
specific food
these are the questions we want to know, Billy. Right?
the important questions.
Yeah, just misdirect. No, unfortunately, my Christmas traditions are unfortunately going to be pretty interrupted by COVID this year. So I usually would drive home and see my parents every year. I'm not
Aw.
going to get to do that this year, it seems. So
Billy's a good boy. Or a good son, I guess would be right.
No, by the way,
I
that's
mean-
not out of character for this show, Billy. Just so you know, to ask something
Oh,
like
I
that.
I used to watch this show quite a lot, just like everybody else.
No, I have no idea who watches the show, Billy. I don't pay attention. As long as everybody's having fun and enjoying themselves, that's good. So what's shaking on your side of the fence there? You got a nice new, brand new, shiny Keepstar here. Bunch of people coming in. Got some bubbles up now.
Well, we didn't do any bubble wrapping, but we've got a few bubbles going.
Yeah.
Just to prevent any supers from disconnecting, from crashing, obviously. But yeah, we're just moving into our new Keepstar T5ZI and continuing the slow war we're having, I guess. This is a pretty big moment for us, obviously, as we begin the real kind of siege of 1DQ component of the war, and we'll kind of go from there, I guess.
Oh, is that the next step?
Not really, but sort of. Like, this Keepstar by its very existence is kind of an indirect siege of 1DQ, if that makes sense. It creates this constant pressure upon 1DQ, which can't really be ignored as naturally as us being in YZ9 and 10, 15 jumps away. The average dude who logs in can log in, undock, and warp to the 1DQ gate at any time. It just creates such an incredible escalation of threat on 1DQ that it should open up opportunities for us, is the hope.
So, are you gonna shoot a Keepstar next? And which one? And can you keep talking slow so I can make notes?
So, as we've said from the beginning, we're going to go through all of the non-Keepstar structures first, is our plan, unless something is sitting under a Sinojammer. So we've obviously got a couple systems that have friendly iHubs under a Sinojammer, but as you can see from our pace with the Sotios, I think we've only killed like 8 or 10 in the last 2 weeks, and there's no short. Like, I was going through one system, like, why do they have 2 Sotios in the system? Why do they have 3? Like, it's like, what is wrong with these people? So we've got a long way to go
How
just
are
with the
you
Sotios.
surprised? Like,
Well, like,
did you
there's
not
no benefit
look?
to 2 production Sotios in the same system. It's just like different corps competing with each other. Who's got the bigger dick Sotio?
Did you
Come
not
on,
look or check anything before
No,
going
I just-
around Dell at all?
I just
Yeah,
wanna
we had some
point out here-
guy do like a full, like, every single Citadel, scan of Delve, like I'm sure you guys have done to our space. Like,
Well, there's
always
not that
people
many
have-
buildings to do
the
that
ment-
over there, so comparatively.
No, comparatively there isn't. We're much more efficient with our Citadel placement, but
It had nothing to do with efficiency.
Yeah, it has nothing to do.
I know.
You know,
Like,
Corp
people
just
who
wants to
don't-
build something, so it
No.
does.
Like, it's not even corp. Like,
Yeah.
people, individual people,
Oh,
are
yeah.
just like, I just want to make my own supers on my own and pay myself. So they just put their buildings down.
I just want to
I
point out
gathered
here,
that.
Villy, you used to be a goon.
I was a goon for almost 5 years.
You
yeah.
should know, goons are dumb.
Well, there's people who are dumb in every alliance in the game, and I don't know about you guys, but when I was in goons from 2010 to 2015, people used to try and clamp down on that idiocy at least a little bit. I know to a degree it's much more encouraged now to let people just do whatever they want, especially with citadels and such. But that doesn't mean that some of those assets couldn't have been a little more appropriately used, perhaps. But
Tomato,
it is what it
potato.
is. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we dropped down 50 Keepstars in a single regions just because we could.
And there's actually no reason, just because we could.
Yeah, I mean, props on you dropping all those Keepstars, but the reality of the reason when we did our kind of strategic planning last week for how many Keepstars we'd need to like truly fortify Delve, it was only like 25. Every Keepstar past that is kind of just an excess one, but the thing is, of those 25, you guys only have like 4 or 5 of them, and it's like, it's obviously a pretty unfortunate thing when you have some of these assets that could be tactically utilized, but just a corporation wanted to be their own, so they anchored them in the middle of nowhere instead of the gate, for example.
We could talk about that because, like, one of the Keepstars that ended up being a free donation, honestly, they put in the middle of nowhere, like, not even facing a gate, way out there, like by some fuck planet. And at some point, when that corp that owned that Keepstar got kicked, they immediately picked it up and moved it to a better location.
Well, I can tell you a fun story of the T2 Keepstar. So we dropped the T2 Keepstar, T2 Tech V, I believe it is in Tenerife. This was about 2 years ago, and the poor Logi guy who dropped it angled it literally like it. The whole point of that keep star is to be a gate controlling keep star, and he angled it the exact opposite direction of the gate. I think it was his first. So we literally dropped the keep star and we started the unanchor like 10 minutes later, and like
But at least
it
you
was
didn't
just
have
such a
rigs to
quiet
break.
Yeah, obviously.
You know, the same thing happened to us, but instead of unanchoring it again, we just anchored another keep star on the other side, so you could undock and then walk from one to the other and then to the gate.
Well, it's our solution to the problem.
Yeah,
When you have an excess of keep stars, that's kind of what you can do.
We do. We have.
Oh.
Yeah, we have one that's like someone decided to put it right on the sun. So every time you undock, you're just blinded. And it's awful because you need it for like moving. Like, it's one of the key ones to get to certain locations. So, like, every time we do a move up, it'd be like, okay, guys, just don't look. But every time you undock, it just points you right at it. And it's just, boom, sun in the face.
there you
And
go.
everybody in
I
Google
mean, but
knows
with that being
what.
said, my point still stands though, right? Like, there's a lot of these keep stars that do literally nothing, and a lot of the strategic ones that you guys should have had don't exist, right? Like,
Well,
so,
you have to remember, like, why we put so many. It wasn't just necessarily like, oh, we could just put down a bunch. Before supers got nerfed into like pittance here, everyone's super ratted everywhere, and instead of having to jump back and forth and waste fuel all the time, it's nice to have a keep star in system to just dock it.
that is true. It's a nice
So, like,
convenient thing.
that's. I mean, we had a safe Cyto fleet that had a Cyto on every keep star until we finally got to a point where we told him, like, you just pick a couple that you like, because there's just too many. So it's, like, that's why that's part of why some of the systems have like the weird ones around.
Mm.
That makes sense.
I would
I
think,
mean, my argument is still goons are dumb. Like,
yeah, that's always a valid argument.
I don't know. That's unfair. As much as the goons are dumb meme is as funny as it is in any alliance. There's a lot of incredibly hyper intelligent people in goons, and sometimes it's just a matter of making a couple administrative decisions to kind of harness that intelligence over the stupidity, I guess.
Yeah.
There were, as I said, there were a couple that like they kind of put their foot down about, but there's probably others that were just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I really wish this game had better color options for like enemies, because orange and gray is really boring.
Yeah.
True.
So what are you naming this one? Has it got a name yet?
Right now it's called Tune Into the Alliance Open, which is happening basically right now. Some great matches going on for all the people that are sitting here watching the boring Keep Star Online.
Yeah, every time
But,
we cast that, it doesn't go well for
Hey,
us.
hey,
So-
I just want to point out, Billy, we actually wouldn't be watching the Keepstar Online, but Soth made me, so it's his fault.
yes, it's my fault.
It's all, yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what we're gonna call it. I imagine it'll be some meme about Real Delve or.
I personally like the test is next door from Reddit. I thought that was
that's a
no
good
matter
one.
what, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was I don't know. Last time we did a straw poll, and then we didn't like one of the options, and then everybody got mad at us, and it was a big drama. And yeah, so we've learned a lesson. We're not going to announce what we're going to call it until we've decided that what we're going to call it.
It could be Keepstar McKeepstar face.
Yeah, that's how Test ends up with like bad corporation names for like. For example, our Cash Corp is like called something Cash Corp. It's like, oh Jesus, don't give people naming options. It just ends bad.
Other than that, we were just watching more Titans come in. Is everything moving?
I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Why?
Why not?
Because the jump ranges aren't really that much better.
Then what? YZ9?
Yeah. I mean, like, for what
it's
you
got
need to hit.
it's got the number one most important jump range though, which is ZXB, right?
That's actually, from looking at the map, I think that is the only difference between the two.
There's a bunch of critical jump range differences, but
That actually is what
ZXB the
got
big
you
one.
guys fucked earlier today too. It's pretty funny. We
That's
were
true.
killing the mutant fleet in 5 Tech C, and your Hodreds and docked and
Couldn't
couldn't jump. It's like, y'all should check that a little bit harder. So,
Well, it's I don't know. It was apple pear, right, this morning?
no, it was John.
Was it
Pretty sure
John?
it was
Okay.
John, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, good for him.
Fortunately, I got
Yeah, I mean,
fucking
sooner or later
worried.
we're bound to lose a fight, right? It's just kind of the law of probability. And obviously, we lost some units. I'm not too worried about it. I don't think Horde is either. I don't even think Tess was there. It's with that shitty time zone for us.
a few mana. It was 76 mutant. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, mutants are.
Though, oh my god, on the kill board, it was crazy. Someone was like moving a bustard full of shit, and so the battle report looks off because it says like 30 bill lost. It was a 10 bill bustard that died in the middle of the fight somewhere.
Wow.
We're like, what the fuck? So we're like trying to figure out a way to get it off the kill board, but it's like right in the middle, so there was nothing we could do. We're just like, all right, well, and it looks like they lost 30 bill. Let's put them over there.
We have our moments.
Well, everybody does, right? No, it's the ability to go into ZXB and obviously directly into Fountain will open up a lot of options for us in terms of targets. It allow us to kind of get deep into those farm grounds that are being rebuilt, which is pretty important to us. And obviously, the fact that we're next door to 1DQ will allow us to increase that press and that natural combat. So those are the core reasons to move in. NPC space has some advantages, but also it has some disadvantages too, right? So I don't know. This is the next step. We had to go somewhere deep into Delve for our next staging, so this made almost exactly the most sense. We've been kind of planning it for a couple weeks now, and we're pretty happy with the way it's kind of gone.
Is that a mutant fleet out there? I can't see anything, Eric.
That's an Eagle fleet, actually.
Okay.
See, we should always get Veli on here because then I don't even have to log in. I can just ask him what fleets he has.
Well, Billy will tell you much more information than Bunny will. Bunny's like, I'm not telling you blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not even a personal question or a private question, but whatever, fine. Be like that.
Yeah.
But
I over the years, I have come to the conclusion that people are way too heavy on the OPSEC. It leads to very poor communication at times, and it's definitely something that needs to be reiterated to newer FCs and even commentators and such, that not everything is like level 200 OPSEC. The fact we have a Nightmare fleet and an Eagle fleet and hundreds of Titans and all this, anybody with the most little bit of interest or spy ability can go find that information in. It's not rocket science. It's not hidden under some secret veil. The organizations that have like true level OPSEC are extremely rare in EVE Online, and they have to be either the most dedicated subgroups within an alliance that are built on friendships or long-standing intergroup kind of situations, or they have to be incredibly, I don't want to say elite, but exclusive corporations. And the last one I can think of really that operated like that was Skill Yourself, and I believe there's a group in Goons that was involved in the Bosun play that is probably uncompromised. Like those are the only real levels of OPSEC where I feel people really need to respect that OPSEC, and otherwise I feel people very often are much too aggressive trying to protect the most simple of OPSEC.
what, are you saying you actually have a spy in Top Goon?
I didn't say that, no.
The toppest of Goon groups.
If we did, I wouldn't say one. Say we did. And if we don't, then I wouldn't say that either, right?
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, someone in chat was bringing it up, and it's You actually, this is an interesting thing because 1DQ's been such a big hub for so long. CCP has always put it on one of its stronger nodes just by itself. So that's why chat can see T5Z is at like what, 30% tie dye,
It
20%.
is pretty up
somewhere
there. Let me look here. 24% tie dye.
Well, that also
Yeah.
could be due to the fact that there's thousands of people jumping into T5CI.
Well, no,
1DQ camp is entirely static right now, right?
yeah, but we
you
didn't have
gotta
any.
remember,
We didn't have any tie dye
it's
jumping in either.
It's not necessarily the amount of people, but the amount of change
Correct.
that causes tie-dye. Also, YZ9 was sitting at 10% tie-dye earlier, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't really put that on a reinforced node.
Will INN even be around in 30 months? McLeod, how long have you and I been on INN? How long has it been now? A couple years?
Oh,
Well, didn't
it's
we
been
had somebody
like probably
subscribe?
like 3 years.
Actually,
Yeah.
INN should be close to its kind of decade, shouldn't it? If you include its history as thematani.com, right?
We had one member, not this Thursday, but the previous Thursday, resubscribe for 62 months in a row. So I could tell you at least 5 years for
Yeah.
INN as it is.
And I did my 58 sub, which we weren't sub for a long time, but yeah. And we're
RJ's
we're
here.
well up over 800. RJ just joined. Hey RJ, how you doing, man? Can't hear you.
If you don't mind, I'll answer a question from one of your guys in the chat.
Sure,
there.
go ahead. You can
Okay.
do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, totally, dude.
Mr. Asia Park asked, Villy, have you got an estimate how many goons you've caused to leave the game, and are you happy with the progress so far? I just want to reiterate, because sometimes the spin or narrative either misquotes me or indirectly chooses to kind of say something. I'm not interested in anybody leaving the game. But what we do try to focus on is make other groups more appealing, causing members of the Imperium to leave their corporations and alliances for other places in the game. I don't want anybody to quit the game.
Well, that's not quite what you said in the soda. Because I distinctly remember in at least one of them, Mr. Pickleman saying, we want them not logging in, we want them to go away, we want to get rid of goons completely from this game.
I think it might have the opposite effect, because I am
But,
highly
you know,
motivated.
And you know, I'm more than
For-
happy to go back through and look
whatever
for
PJ
specifics, but
Jill said, not me, right?
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it may
Yeah.
not have been you specifically, so, but I know Pickles has said it.
Well, and regardless of how you want to interpret what I may have said in the past, my goal is never to make anyone quit the game. My goal is to make the group that I am attacking the least appealing option for the player. There is a differentiation, right? This game doesn't need less players; it needs more players, right? But there's no way to how do I put this? The game needs more players, so I don't want less people playing the game. I want people playing the game just elsewhere. And it is a fine line to walk, absolutely, and it's no different from the line that you guys would be saying about us in many cases. But nonetheless,
I spent 3 hours talking about what I think on Thursday.
I remember we did a show a couple months ago and pretty much showed probably why there is no retention, and that involved Mrs. RJ, if I remember correctly.
It did. That was not
It was,
a.
it was bad.
Are you gonna get me started on the whole why CCP should push new players into player-run corporations again?
actually, that's something that has been advocated for by myself and many others. I can say that I've advocated for it as a CM member. I know. Well, I can't say on paper what your CSM members have advocated for or against, but I think you can guess what they probably have advocated for as well.
I think a lot of us could agree on that same thing, being on either side. I agree with it.
Yeah, so Brisk is saying right now he's advocated for it as well. Like, the retention of a new player is much stronger when you have a group of people helping you, teaching you, showing you the ropes, giving you purpose, giving you meaning, taking you through that ladder. And any opportunity this game can engage in to increase that is a good thing for the game. So to me, I don't think it's even a question of if that's something that should happen.
Shoot, when we had Mrs. RJ on here, if I wasn't standing behind her while we were streaming that new player experience live, she probably would have logged in the first 5 minutes. Like
By the way, guys,
Dunsky's.
this is no spin from Billy or from me. CCP themselves said the number one thing to increase retention rate is people joining a player-run organization.
Has that been said publicly?
Mhm.
They have said
Yeah.
that publicly.
Okay,
Yes.
so I can talk about it then, because yes, they have shown us those exact stats, and it is absolutely correct. Like if a player joins a new player a player corporation, their level of retention skyrockets through the roof, right? Because that player then has friends. They then, well, not necessarily friends, but they have people that are working with them, people that are talking to them, people that are teaching them, willing to show them the ropes, giving them some seed money, giving them all the things, all the community that Eve instills in people, almost always comes from other players. And when you join Eve and you sit in an NPC corporation, you have none of that. You know, this game is not effective at taking new players through the ropes when all you do is you log in, you join an NPC corporation, you do the not the storyline agents, the career agents, and then you do the epic storyline, and then you train for level 2 missions, and then you train for level 3 missions, and then train for level 4 missions. Like, none of that is good gameplay, right? And any chance the game has of surviving into the next, 20 years is going to come from players driving player retention.
So I don't know why they just don't put out a thing there where beginner corporations can kind of get vetted and say, hey, we want to be one of those starter corporations. Like, how hard can that be to do, to just vet corporations like that for starters?
Didn't they say that they wanted
It's
to do
really
that?
well. The thing is, it's really difficult, and the
Yeah.
issue why it's really difficult is because initially those player groups can get vetted, but player groups change. They evolve. The people who are leading it, when it got vetted, may not be leading it in 6 months or a year. It's one of those things that it would have to get constantly re-vetted, the time.
They
It's important to
constantly
remember.
throw the frickin' agency thing up in our face. Why not a new, hey, you've been a player for X amount of months. How is your corp doing? Does it suck? Okay, they're kicked from the frickin' program.
It's important to remember, as soon as CCP begins endorsing any corporation, they have then stamped that corporation. And then the second that corporation does anything wrong, CCP, whether they like it or not, to some degree, is responsible for that corporation.
Yeah.
And that creates a whole can of worms. And they also desperately try to avoid anything to do with favoritism, right? They're trying to create a fair playing field, right? So what happens if, for example, and this is not something I'm proposing, but Karma Fleet got the certification, and Brand New Bros got the certification, but Dreadit didn't, for example, right? Then all of a sudden the calls would be coming in from my side, saying, why did we not get it when they got it, right? Or vice versa, if Karma Fleet didn't get it and we did, you know what? It creates this incredible opportunity for problems. Nonetheless, I think that the level of retention improvement it creates is something that is still going to cause people to drive towards it.
Well, how about, first of all, they need to overhaul the Corp Finder, because that is completely...
Yeah, that thing is awful.
And then they actually need to shove new players' faces into the Corp Finder, because right now, in the new player experience, as far as I remember, Corp Finder isn't even mentioned for player-run corporations. And I think that's a
there's
big
so
mistake.
many different things they could do to improve the corporation recruitment system and the way in which people join corporations.
I have to say, if you do throw it in front of their face, at least give them a list of the player corporations, based on what they feel like they want to do,
Well, to
At
me,
least-
the
at least
thing
let them
that
pick it.
the thing that's always been the best tool is just player reviews, basically. How does this corporation rank up by reviews? And obviously, there'd be ways to game that system, but nonetheless, you're still in a situation where, as CCP, you're not directly responsible for those reviews, but there's something there to show which corporations have the highest, satisfaction, highest happiness, whatever, right?
If you did something like that, I would require you to be in the corp for a certain amount of time before you could be, because you don't want people joining a corp for one day just to make a meme, review, and then
Sure, but nonetheless, you'd have corporations like Horde with the ability to review bomb them or anything else. Like every system can be gamed. EVE Online players are literally the epitome of every system can be gamed in one way or another. We take pride in that fact. So it is to say that we'll make a system where it can't be gamed. That's not the way to go about it. What you want to do is you want to try and build a system that takes the gaming into mind and then does its best to work with it or work around it.
We actually 2 weeks ago got one of our friends into EVE. We've been bugging him for about a year to play. He finally joined, and I wanted him to stay in high sec to learn mechanics, but no one agreed with me on that. So we brought him down to Null. He's been fighting the war with us, and as you said, like the corporate interaction is the sole reason why people like stay longer, because everyone in fleet's been really nice to him, and his first fleet, like, we're streaming it so that way I can tell him what to do and what to click and stuff like that, because he didn't even know like what warp is. Like, he barely knew what warp was, or like keep at range or anchoring. Like, we're trying to set up his overview and his settings and broadcast settings in the middle of this fleet, just so he can like function with everybody else. And then like 2 weeks later, he's like straight into it, doing it on his own. He's like, this is fantastic, because he normally plays Arc, and I told him, I was like, you're gonna love if you like the complexity in Arc, you're gonna love the complexity, because it's like 10 times higher. But if he just joined in just from the new player experience, it would not. It does not hold you unless you're willing to put that work in to find a good group.
It's true.
Billy,
Yeah.
I gotta ask. I just saw you guys are messing with the iHub in BTAC 7. You know, that's one of my favorite places. Why do you gotta do that to me, man?
Because it's one of the highest rated systems in Delve. I think it's also the most southerly iHub you guys control now, too. If
I think it is. I think it is. And by the way, I'm just being funny, right? I don't really care. I'm just.
Well, I mean, the goal is obviously to kill all of the iHubs, which includes your favorite system, and Tim's favorite system, and Don's favorite system.
You should know what. Do you remember our conversation with mine is?
Go ahead, Don. Say what you're
I was going to ask, do you remember which one mine is? Because I'm not going to say it.
I don't, actually.
Well, you're just going to have to watch that show again, aren't you?
I'm totally not going to watch that show again. I can tell you that right now.
3 hour. Actually, you only came in.
Was it a 3-hour tour? Is your
name
really Marianne?
Well, we spent like an hour and a half like hanging out with and then Jay showed up, and then you and Pickle showed up at some point, and then like don't really remember much after that.
I think technically the most southern iHub we own right now is in Esoteria.
Do you own any of those?
No, Bastion.
Bastion are friends.
All of them, okay.
Yeah, you guys have some good iHubs in Esoteria. I hope you guys are looking at taking over some space. We're trying to get rid of some, so works out good.
You know, either way, Sancho Rats are so much better than
I'm going to miss
Rats.
Sancho Rats, and I'm going to miss Nightmare Blueprints, I'm not going to lie.
What are you talking about? You act like you're going to get to live here.
You're saying...
listen, anytime I speak in that regard, I'm assuming my own victory, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend to assume my own defeat. I absolutely accept that it's a very real possibility, but I'm not going to, change my mental mindset where I'm anticipating lose. You always, continue along the line of your own victory, right?
What you're saying is that we're going to pull a switcheroo, right? Test is going to go to Delve, and Goons are going to go to Esoteria, and then both are going to claim victory, right? And then Goons are going to say, oh, yeah, by the way, Esoteria is way better space anyway.
Yeah.
We all know. Winning must go on.
Wait.
So, by the way, so all the folks who come into chat and just think that, we're just we are pro-Goon for a reason, right? But that's like we only have the tunnel vision, right? I mean, we just brought Billy on. Billy, you and I don't even really know each other, really. And I don't think you've been on the show before. But, we just don't care. It's a game. And let's have fun. And, why be overly antagonistic to each other? I mean, if you do that, you're playing the game, right? we can mess with each other in a funny way, just like most people do when they're playing sports against each other, right? But this is no different to me, you know. And by the way, BTEC 7
me,
is
I
not my
always
favorite, but I just want to make some fun with it, right? So yeah.
To me, I'm always trying to work from the opposite side. I'm always trying to lighten the narrative. I know one of my biggest personal fears playing Eve is that somebody's going to show up on my doorstep because I blew up their iHub. But
So that's why I was like
you
wondering,
laugh, right?
like,
But it's not like you know, you get enough angry DMs, you're like, there's some crazy people out there, right?
If I bring scotch, is it okay then?
Scott should be okay.
But yeah, no. I mean, this is a game. We have fun, right? I mean, what was it? Last back when we used to play H1Z1, I mean, we had a guy come on the show and he's like, "Hey, back in those days, I was your enemy."
Necro.
Yeah, I was your enemy. Right?
Yeah, it's
And we're like,
the,
yeah,
it's the,
so that's a game.
defector.
You know, so yeah, so we tend not to really. I mean, this is supposed to be fun, folks. And this is supposed to be a fun show about a fun game. And sometimes we talk about food, like we did for 10 minutes while we're waiting for the.
10 minutes. It was like 30 minutes.
No, it was only 10 minutes because there was 10 minutes on the timer. So that's when we went to the food section, and you know, then we had to do the obligatory ask for Billy, you know, what his traditions were, right? So.
I mean, the reality is, you know, I'm in the alliance and coalition and block that is attacking your alliance and coalition and block, and you know, much like, you know, a game of League of Legends where it's 5v5, this is just the same thing at a much more massive scale, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because the matches are so much longer, because there's so much more narrative and the propaganda plays such a real role in the way EVE Online Warfare is waged, it just has a tendency to create this incredibly toxic environment that is, I don't want to say unfair to leadership, because what we do is a choice we make, but I think it's unfair to a lot of people who play the game casually, in that they both get wrapped up in it and don't always have a choice, but also just because a lot of people feel that they have to play that game. I don't know if I made sense there, but
Yeah, see, I look at the propaganda like this, really, like, and I see all the goon propaganda and all this stuff, and we say it here too sometimes, but it's more of, you know, it's fun to be part of your team. It's fun to think that your team's number one on both sides, right? And it's fun to say that you're winning and you're doing the right things, and that's part of the fantasy fun things that we all do, right? Now, we all go to Vegas, we all do to whatever, you know, you're all having fun in a place in real life, which is different than what we're doing here. You know, despite all the propaganda and the you suck and you all are terrible, and, you know, I mean, that's game propaganda to kind of pump you up to do the things in game, but adults can separate that stuff, I think. I mean, some can't, obviously. Some can't.
Some of the most poorly adjusted people who I can think of. You know,
but I'm speaking by and large, right? You know, like, you know, I get you're prosecuting this war against goons, and if we were in Vegas, you know, COVID's gone, right? Drinking at a bar, that'd be no problem there. I mean, just, you know, we'd all be buying each other shots and having a good time.
I don't know. I might get a little offended if you blow up some buildings in LA. Actually, I didn't put any down.
You are forgetting something, though. We will steal that PL flag. It is a proud tradition that someone must steal the PL flag.
But that's part of the fun, right? That's, you know...
They get so serious about it.
It's not like you steal
I've
it and
seen
you
people
burn
go-
it and you pee on it and stomp on it, right? You steal it and it eventually goes back. It's game.
I've seen people go to some pretty fucking insane lengths to steal some fucking flags.
Yeah.
Like, that would blow your mind. Like, people take those flags pretty serious.
Last Easter, hopefully we'll get another one. Someone stole the PL flag, and we actually hang it on a flagpole, like on a real flagpole, and we even went so far to hang it like all the way up. Like, that's what you do with a flag. Like, if we wanted to be funny and like meme on PL, we would have hung it like half mast, right? But no,
Yeah.
it's just taking jabs at each other, like friends do, not like enemies do.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I was saying, Soth, right? You know, there's, I mean, my best friends, I might level some of the worst insults against them, and, sometimes my wife might cringe, but it's like, yeah, they come back. You're friends. It's just harassing each other, jagging each other, basically. But yeah, I mean, the game is a game, I certainly don't want you to take over Delvin. I want us to kick your ass and have a good time doing it. But it is what it is. It's a game. And I come here to have fun. To all that other bullshit that happens in life doesn't happen here,
Yeah, and I mean, it's important to understand, like, when we set up this invasion, we didn't set it up to be, a fair 5v5 league fight, right? It's designed to be a 10v5 or a 12.5v5 or whatever, the numerical advantages of the day, just because of both the defender's advantage in terms of citadels and time zones and so on, but also just because attacking is very difficult in this game, and obviously every advantage we can push to make that so is one more that kind of helps us do it.
Yeah. I mean, this could be fun being next door, right? Dueling back and forth, blowing crap up. Could be fun.
I mean, that's the hope, right?
Now-
Every minute of every hour, people are going to be able to undock, warp to a gate, and get some content. One would hope.
I mean, you can have fun fighting Headhunter Jacks all you want. It's fuck that.
Fighting what, sorry?
Headhunter Jacks.
I don't know who that is, I'm sorry.
He's the scourge of 1DQ. He's number 2 on kills. He lives in Dell. He's lived in Dell for 4 years now, at least 5 maybe. And all he does is just camp the gates and just pick off anything he grabs.
What does he
Him
camp?
and his band of mermen. Every gate in 1DQ.
Jeez.
All the time.
So do you think he'll be one of the ones that'll follow you guys, or?
Oh no, he hates us, so he'll probably kill you less, but he kills whatever he can kill. You want to talk about freighters? Like we say don't gate capitals around in Delph, right? For obvious reasons, and yet people still like, I'm just going to take my carrier into AWA,
No matter how many
and they
times,
warp there, and then they
no
die.
matter how many times you say it, there's always that dude in the jump fighter who takes the beacon, right? No matter
The
what
beacon-
alliance,
The beacon would be
what
better
group-
than what they do. They just gate right off the Keepstar, straight forward towards, and 1DQ is so big, like, going to the NTech 8 gate, if they see you warp, it's 68 AU. Like, they have plenty of time to, like, set up a bubble on the other side, to, like, if you get through, to just, like, making sure and just murder you. So, we were talking about that a little bit on Thursday, just... I don't know, like, if he's got an affiliation with anybody or if he's just like his own group, but yeah, like, you can camp these gates all you want. I hope he kills you all.
Oh, that's listen. We've dealt with our own band of merry campers in Esoteria for the better part of 5 years. If we end up moving into Delve and we get to deal with the band of merry campers in Delve, I don't imagine it'll be all that different. Or the raging goon campers living out of the NPC stations that are determined to cut our throats in the night every day of every hour. But things will be interesting to say the least, and certainly that should make for some interesting gameplay and interesting content over the years, I hope.
What do you mean NPC stations? We can live out of cans in space.
Yeah, but you got NPC stations there, it makes it so much easier.
Nah, that's boring.
Well, if you're friends with Blood Gang, it's so much easier.
The Blood Gang?
Yeah, Blood Raiders, Blood Gang.
Oh, okay.
Bill's affectionate
actually-
term for it.
True story. So, a member of my corp actually came back to the game like 3 months ago, and he is like the original Blood Raider role player from 2006 era. Like, I was amazed at the timing of it, let's say. So, I've got the old school connect, the Blood Boys, like the real Blood Boys. If you know
Oh,
what I'm saying.
okay. Most of, like, that's the thing, is, like, most of us in Delve have been killing Blood Raiders for years. So, like, I'm Neg 10. I'm Neg 10 to Sancha because of Incursion, where I used to live, in high sec with Sancha Space. Like, yeah, the Blood Gang is not my friend, and they've murdered me at least more than once, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'll throw it a kind of a props to them, the old Krura Seraphim kind of crew. If any of them are looking, Sly Shade he's rolling back around somehow. So I know there's a couple actually members of that crew that are actually hiding in goons too. So
Now, are you guys going to come through this gate, or like, what's happening?
or what do you mean? Sorry.
Are you going to come into 1DQ today or not?
I can tell you right now, we're not coming into 1DQ today. Or that is not the plan. So you guys are free to like. No spin. If you hadn't camped, we probably would have. But if it's not free, we're not going to take it. Like, in this regard. So.
I mean, I'm just hanging out.
You were saying
I don't know what's
like,
going on.
we had anything to do with I don't even know what's going on right now.
Okay, so what happened is we formed about 4,000 people to do this big Keepstar op. We hyped it a bit. You guys didn't hype pretty much at all. You guys formed like 1,500. We formed whatever 3,500. You guys basically set up in 1DQ on the T5 gate to ensure that we couldn't come into 1DQ and go straight for the iHub. Because if you hadn't, and we had 3,500 dudes, then we would just be able to burn right into 1DQ Constellation and get a full reinforcement. So it's a understandable tactical play, right? Obviously, you can only control so much space because you have to maintain that 1DQ iHub. So we're out reinforcing a bunch of other things right now.
There you go. So we've got, all of 33 more minutes, folks.
Of what?
I don't know.
The show?
Usually we go till 3, right?
Yeah, let me run off and do our other stuff.
Is the meta show at 2100 or 2000?
It's at
21.
4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys get your fireside next, right?
Oh, usually we do, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, okay.
Yeah, do the fireside, hang out. You want to come, Billy?
I'm sure he'll be there.
I'll listen in. Actually,
All right.
I won't. I actually, unfortunately, I find it really hard in my head to listen to them. Not because of the spin, just because anytime you hear somebody personally attacking you in any way, or whether it's video game or not, it gets a little hard on the head at times.
Yeah, I understand. I do.
So usually somebody gives me the cliff notes if there's anything important. But yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to Goon Line members, like that at some point. But something tells me I'm not going to get that opportunity.
I mean,
There's
you're in
Goon
front
Line
of a bunch
members
of them
that
right
listen
now.
to this show. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
one. We're here. So yeah, I mean, not I'll never defect. So, but yeah.
No, and listen, we're not expecting anybody to do
Whoa.
that. There's a ton of great people in Goons, and I'm actually we're actually tracking a ton of different members and corporations who feel like they're probably good to leave now, but are so loyal to kind of the Imperium that they're not going to leave until the war's over. And you got to respect that, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to have as much fun as we can in the context of an Eve war where fun is, I don't want to say fun is not allowed, but fun is not the goal, let's say. So it's a challenging dilemma, to say the least.
See, I have fun in every fleet that I go in. I never consider any of them a grind, whether I'm, whether it was back in the old pause warfare or, or grinding down some stations or anything like that. I'm just in there for, hanging out with the fleet, trying to make sure that I do the right things when I'm flying as a fleet member and anticipating what the FC wants, right? And supporting what they do and just kind of doing it. It's kind of fun to me. So yeah, I just kind of have, even if it's, camping a gate, I have fun. So yeah.
I mean, Eve is most fun when you're out there playing with your boys, right? Your girls. And having a good time and chilling with your mates. And I know for myself, I've definitely missed that component of Eve at different times and sought to find it again. It's some of my fondest memories. And anybody that's experiencing that and getting that with Goons or anywhere else, the goal should be to ensure that they keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean that's really, for me, I come from a pretty heavy, sports background and things like that. And I just see it as being part of the team, and you're part of the team, and you win together, you lose together. And you can still have a good time playing the sport even if you lose. You may not like it as much, but
Yeah,
it's
you did.
the determination of what you did to support your team, right?
Sometimes though, like even if like you lose, like sometimes it's no fun if it's just like 62-5. You're just like, well, why am I here? What's going on?
I come from a German background, so for me, it's like no fun allowed. It's all efficiency.
Wow.
Boy,
as it came out during my my exit interview with the Imperium, to me the thing I enjoy the most is trying to do the impossible, right? And to a degree, this was at one point the impossible, and now it's definitely much more of a possible reality. And everybody has a different fun factor, right? Something that the game provides to them that is what they enjoy doing. And as long as everybody's getting that, then that's the greatest thing we can help provide, right?
So what you're saying is, next week you're gonna switch over to goons to achieve the impossible to defend Delph.
You know what? It's actually really funny because I've wargamed it so many times of how much more interesting it would be to be on the defender side in certain cases. But it's just one of those things where
Well, you'll get that
obviously that's not a
opportunity.
reality. Yeah, absolutely, we will.
Yeah, you're gonna get that opportunity at some point. Who knows when? But
So are we? I hate to play the word games, but does that mean we are taking Delph at some point then, Don?
I said defense. I didn't say where at.
No,
But,
I
like-
understand what you're saying.
Well, that's the,
and
and I asked you
certainly
that like
we
months
look
ago.
forward.
Like, are you like I asked you before, like at the end of the war, unless like NC stops like hanging out with P Horde, like who else is there to attack?
Who else is there to attack?
Like for Panda Fam, like who else? let's
I
say
know
we-
Trigger Happy is certainly not
They're like
doing themselves any factors.
they're like
favors.
what? How big is Trigger Happy right now? Like I
Oh,
don't
they're
keep
very
up with
small. That's
everybody.
comparatively.
Right, that would be like a waste of time. It would just be like a little kicking, something to kind of keep yourself
I am
steady, I
more
guess.
than happy to admit in a post-war scenario where we have won and you guys have been pushed into either NPC Delve or Losec or Fountain or wherever, and you're attacking us, that it's going to be rough for us. I have no problem to admit that's going to be rough on us. That's what we signed up for, right? We knew the risk and the problems going into it. I can assure you, I can do the basic, game planning of that, from 5 months ago too, right? At some point you have to take a leap of faith. You have to say, this war is going to happen in this way, and I'm going to be able to control and guide the path enough that we're going to be able to achieve our goals here and there, and then when we get there, we're going to be able to do X and Y. And I have to also accept that at the same time, if I don't manage to achieve those things, then I'm going to lose. And one of the things that so often people kind of misunderstand is that I am 100% okay if we lose in this. If we fail and we lose and Test is torn to smithereens, I am okay with that. Not because I'll be happy losing my members' assets and all their stuff and putting them through all this for nothing, but because somebody has to do those things. Somebody has to make those interesting plays. Otherwise, nothing happens. I could have sat safely in Esoteria with you guys nipped, and we could have just sat there for another year or two, or 3 or 4. But the galaxy's incredibly uninteresting if nobody's willing to take even the remotest of a risk, right?
Yeah, but that's like now the ball's in Panda Fam's corner because they have
It will be in their
they've-
corner.
They've
They will
taken
be
the
strongest entity.
entire like thing up in the north, right? Almost.
So
from
let's be
east to
clear.
west.
Panda Fam is the strongest entity going in to the you guys are stronger than Panda Fam on your own, but at the end of this war, if you guys are reduced by any reasonable amount, Panda Fam will be by far the strongest entity, block, whatever you want to call them, in the game. And to a degree, me putting myself at their mercy is a component of acceptance of that reality to get this war done. So
the plan is to reduce goons so
that way
they
Panda Fam's
find-
stronger and can kill you faster.
So that Panda Fam will come and fight you, so that you can then ally up with goons again.
I think
We're never
that
gonna have it again.
the
Bold
never
plan.
say never. It's important to remember 2017 we were at War 2, right? And times can change very quickly, but nonetheless, goons have a pretty rough relationship with NC, and obviously at the end of this, they'll have a rough relationship with Test. I have no idea how the galaxy will unfold at the end of this war. I have no idea how goons will unfold at the end of this war. I have no idea how Test will unfold at the end of this war. All of the balls are in the air. They're all floating, and to a degree, the beauty of this situation is that nobody knows how they're going to fall. Everybody just has a rough guess, and it's all speculation, right?
I mean, to be fair, we have a bad relationship with NC because they never hold up their end of the bargain. They are always backstabbing you the first when they can, right?
I'm tracking that propaganda, and I'm calling it propaganda.
It's not really propaganda. Come on,
right?
Really. I've FC'd fleets myself where it happened, right? I am not talking about hearsay here.
So one of the issues there is the fact that organizations change. If certain people who call the shots end up not being there or being there and that kind of thing. So unfortunately for NC, it's a case of Vince has always really been lead in lead of the NC. So it's one of those things where it's hard to basically claim that NC has changed or has moved on from the ways that they were previously, because Vince has always been there and has always had the opportunity to basically change things if the situations wasn't going basically the way that he felt like it should be. And I have been in alliances that were anti-goons, pro NC, fighting and protecting NC assets, and having NC turn on us and try and fucking nuke Titans of ours. So yeah, I can personally attest to being both on the other side and also having NC turn and basically not hold their end of the bargain and try and neutralize somebody who they thought that they could neutralize just because they had an opportunity to, even if they were friends. So that's my personal kind of experience with dealing with NC. I've also heard all the hearsay and stuff about the fact that NC can't really keep deals or are likely to basically renege on a deal if the situation basically is advantageous to them.
I'll say this, because I'm not gonna comment on decades worth of relationships that I'm not really privy to.
No, I get that.
What I'll say is that NC Dot has been an incredibly steadying factor throughout this war so far, and the lengths that Vince has gone to do his best to lead and help, same with Nidispar and Killa and tons of the NC people, has been absolutely it's impossible to determine the value. And much the same, Test traditionally has had giant issues with Pandemic Legion. They have, to some degree, been our kind of, what would you say, nemesis or something of that sort over the years, and they've basically evicted.
Well, I don't know, because you
at
guys
one point
have...
we got our punches back in against them, but
you guys had a fairly healthy relationship when you guys were in Honey Badgers, right?
The World War B coalition?
No, before that.
I was.
Well, I mean, kind of.
I was in Goons at the time.
He was on the side at that time, yeah.
Yeah.
World
But I'm
War
just saying
B
that, Test and PL had a good kind of good relationship at that point.
World War B
I think it's
is a
debatable.
banned phrase.
I think me trying to evaluate any of Test's relationships before I joined is just outward looking.
Might be a little bit difficult, yeah.
The leadership and configuration and the people within Test have so fundamentally changed since that time that anything I say is not really worth anything in that regard. But what I do know is that the people that I thought would be some of the hardest to work with in this war, like PL for example, have been some of the easiest. Headliner's, a no shit taking kind of guy, but he's incredibly, task oriented and task focused, and he's got tons of patience for even some of the newer FCs who I can tell he's literally like standing in the back ready to choke them out. But he takes the time, and I'm just really surprised with how workable a lot of the PanFan people have been. Even Norris, who I spent the last year working against, I should say, has been a pleasant surprise at times.
I mean, understandably so. Sorry to get in here,
Right.
but like, understandably so. But you also have to kind of, I mean, you can't not think that might be slightly down to the fact that like it is advantageous for them to be that way with you at this point.
Of course.
Good. Okay.
But it just goes to show the point I'm trying to illustrate more than sorry, that what you see on the outside is not always what you see on the inside. In the end, all of these leaders, who I have been enemies with at various times, are very different on the inside when you sit down and have a conversation with them. And that just goes to show, to a degree, the vilification you often see is not always the most accurate thing, I guess. But I mean, obviously, your leaders like Brisk and Matani, they're the most evil people in the game, and you should hate them, and you should leave their alliances right now. But aside from
you're not allowed to say that on INN.
Sorry.
I don't want to say anything, but Brisk is tall. I'm just saying. That's one tall dude.
Yeah, Brisk is
okay,
tall.
I'm not gonna lie. I was in a CSM meeting with Brisk like 3 weeks ago, and I looked at him. I'm like, my God, he looks good. Like he's like lost some weight, and like it was so noticeable from the last time I had seen him that I was like, "You lost weight, bro?" And he's like, "Hell yeah!" He was pretty proud, and I was like, "Good." So that man deserves some props.
He's taller when he's
Hell yeah.
laying down on his back. There's just so much wrong with our fans. People watch this show. It's terrible. And us.
I love
it.
There's so much wrong with all of us.
A good
Fact.
chunk of
Look at
is-
we're just gonna fact check Brisk here for a minute. Hold on.
I know that Brisk is no longer broadcasting sitting down. He's actually got
Standing
himself a
desk,
standing desk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which they all promote and have discount codes for.
You know, my wife is like a runner. Like she runs like every day and do this. So I got her when this whole COVID thing started. And, one of those stand-up desks and everything. She's like, I don't want to stand up at my desk. So why'd you get me this? I'm like, just shut up. Just use the desk. Don't stand at it. Just leave it low. Right? She was.
I wouldn't
mad at me.
mind.
I was in trouble, man. I was in trouble with the Mrs. Eric. The burper, by the way. When you guys heard that giant burp on the show, that was teeny tiny 5'1" Mrs. Eric.
She is tiny.
All right, she is little, isn't she?
With that being said, somebody asked me one question and then brought up another thought. I think I should just say, well, I'm on this stream more than anything. If you guys have any like memorial citadels or anything like that you guys want to save, I put the offer out in a different place and I'll put it out here again. I'll pay fair market price for whatever they are to ensure that they don't get destroyed. You don't have to transfer them now. You can wait until the iHub's destroyed and they're, in the actual kind of danger zone or something.
My personal feeling is burn it all down.
I understand, but like some of those memorial citadels are pretty important in both the history and to a lot of people. So I figured I'd put the offer out there. I understand a lot of people are going to be like, fuck them, make them kill it. But
I think there's only two that I can think of that would even be potentially up there.
Hold it, Dawn. I don't know what you're talking about. They are all memorial citadels.
Well, yeah, okay,
All
yeah.
right.
So you can't blow any of them up. You gotta
All
put them
right,
there.
fair market value. Let's do the deal
of course.
right
If you guys
now.
want to sell me all the keep stars, I'll buy them all. Don't get me wrong.
We'll just add a couple zeros on the end and see.
They're all
50 trillion.
citadels.
We
We will take your
maybe-
money and then we will invade Delve from
maybe
Queries.
we should go to Horde and get a counter offer first.
Yeah.
See who wants to.
Yeah, no. Somebody asked me if I would rejoin Goonins in your chat there, and It's an interesting question, but I'm pretty sure I'm no longer welcome in Goons, so it's not one I think I'll have to answer anytime soon.
Listen, wartime is strange.
Somebody who wasn't considering it would exactly say that and wanted to solidify themselves with the enemy. Would no, just teasing you, Billy.
No, it's weird. Like this war has been weird. Like Elo's really nice, actually. Funny enough, but I fought against Elo personally, like in a multiple engagement, and now he's on our side doing stuff. He's just here to like have fun, but also like Pen of Smash has like been like specifically a person that I have like had to deal with for a long time, and he's on our side now, and that was really weird. And I was just like, what is going on? So we have Grath on our side, like
Grath.
which he's
Grath
what?
Telkin is a nice guy. I mean, the only
He's
thing
funny.
I know of him is him yelling at fleet members, and then he comes to me and is like the nicest guy ever. Like,
And war times make strange bedfellows, or the necessity. I don't know, or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, it certainly can. I think one of the funny ironies of the game in the last while is I've spent more time in Origin, Elo's Corp, on different spy characters than I have in any other Corp in the last, same time frame.
So we need to
I've
go through the
certainly
Origin characters and start looking for like the longest history.
They're both burned spies now. Actually, one of them's in Goons. I sold it. The character, the first one was Tobias Cruzor, and the second one was Assyria. It was like, as I say, they're both burned now. So.
The only other thing that I had a thought on or question on is what does PanFam do when this is not an if, but when a frat goes and shoots AOM again? Because they've already said they're going to. I want to know. I'm interested in what PanFam's going to do. Are they just going to go along, or are they just going to let frat do their own thing?
So for the most part,
what if you
the leaders
try to help
of the
AOM?
coalitions on either side have managed to keep AOM and frat from murdering each other.
I don't know.
Everybody and their mother knows they want to murder each other. It's not rocket science. So as soon as the war is over, I'm sure they'll go back to murdering each other. But for now, both AOM and frat are happy to help. Their teams, their bros, their friends, etc. in this war and put their personal grudges aside. But I have no doubt, as soon as this war is over, they'll go back to killing each other in the most killingest fashion they know.
Well, it's more of like how much help does either side get at that point?
So Dawn, Chad is asking why we care about frat and AOM.
Because it's something else going on. I'm sorry, I'm curious. I like talking about things.
I
in this
personally
game.
would say, especially Fred, are very heavy on bot users. It's not all of Fred. Obviously, everyone has bad actors in their lines, but you can see it in the statistics that Fraternity especially have a lot of them. And that might be because of the space they are holding or the time zone they are in. They do have a lot of them, and no one likes botters.
Well, clearly, CMPL have no problem with it. You just let them do it.
As much as I'm not going to be the one to say Frack doesn't bot, I am also going to be one who's going to be fair here and say Frat certainly puts more effort into their defense fleets and the defense of their region and radders than anybody else in this game.
That's because they have almost no threat.
I don't know. If you've ever roamed
getting
space,
up
you
there.
come across like 200-man mutant fleets with like 15 broadswords and 15 Lachesis in pretty short order.
That's because they're not gonna have anyone. I can't get a 250-man mutant fleet up there very easily. So, and then they don't have to worry about Hodreds undocking out of nowhere, or someone for me to attack Oasa or Cobalt Edge, I would have to put in so much effort of moving characters over and over and over again, mitting them and then logging them off and making them, bricking them, or coffining them until they could be used. And for what, maybe a month or two of working to get one super kill. They're warping supers to ESSs because they could just do whatever they want, and no one's putting any pressure up there on them to do it. That's also why they get attacked by ESS people all the time, is because they're ratting like crazy. I go through I've been up there doing some stuff, and I go through and there's like 15 Ishtars and 3 supers in one system. And it's it's like
I just said that their response activities are far in excess of anyone else's in the game.
I've experienced that too, being chased down by something that would be very similar to what we would do if we could still do that right now.
It's another time zone thing, though.
Yeah, you go out late USTZ, they're started. You can find 400, 500 mil ESSs up there at, midnight USTZ, so. Yeah, actually, a lot of people ask, Billy, when are you going to start your own show? Or do you not have time for that?
I've actually tried to reduce my appearances on shows and such quite significantly if I can. I'm going to continue to do Trash Talk Tuesday because I started there and I've been hosting and helping Redline. I think he's a great guy and he works really hard for it. But other than that...
he's such a jerk. I hate him. You know. By the way, that's completely tongue-in-cheek, just so everybody knows.
I know what Redline looks like now.
I do too. He's a nice guy too.
Yeah. But aside from, I did a lot of press during the CSM elections because I feel that kind of voters deserve at least a little bit of work from their CSM candidates, and after that, I got in the habit of doing more than I think I should, and now it's mostly just Trash Talk Tuesday and the occasional pop in on one of these shows to say hi to you guys if you'll allow me.
Oh, you're always welcome, man. I mean, we just like people who like the game. To be honest with you, we've always done that with all the shows McLeod and I have done.
Yeah.
And we like to have fun, like I said, but sometimes you might eventually trash talk you a little bit later, but you'll probably give it a little back and it'll be funny. So
I'll grind right in there.
Yeah, but you're
unless
welcome
you're a guest on the show, but because that's just rude. I'm not going to be rude.
I mean,
John should talk to me for like an hour last Thursday apparently. So.
Oh well, yeah, you left after I don't know when you left, but Ragnar was on fire on Thursday. He was just spitting spikes everywhere. I almost had to pull him off. I was just like, oh my god, Ragnar, we have the weirdest rules. Shut up. But yeah, your guys' soda was very controversial in a lot of the comments. A lot of the stuff in the soda, not in that you and I have I've already pointed out some of the stuff to you on it.
We would count every second week, kind of like your guys' firesides. It's the same thing. It's just bi-weekly.
Yeah,
I don't even listen to our firesides. I don't get why Dawn is listening to your sodas.
Because I like to know. I need to have things to talk about. Okay, unless I have a really big fight, which almost every fight happens Thursday night after the show. So by the time it gets around to my show, it's been a week and it's old news and old hat. So it's okay, I gotta.
Commercial about it.
Huh?
Tess moving to Delvin, I assume.
Yeah.
What controversial?
Well, it was more of period basis is perfectly safe ratting. I'm like, that's a lot. That's not even close to true.
It's not accurate, but it's one of the safest places or best places for super ratting in the game right now. I explained it on the show, but it is literally 2 Blops bridges into the heart of period basis, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. Just super ratting doesn't. You can't respond to people getting caught in super ratting anymore. It doesn't matter if you're in 1 jump or 10 jumps, right?
Right, so exactly. So it's
best defense for super ratting nowadays.
But the isolation is almost non-existent.
What do you mean?
I can from 31.9 you jump in 1 jump and then you jump again, and you can just have as much fun as you want down there. It literally takes 10 minutes.
Of course. But what I'm saying is that people can't catch you unless they see you. So if it's cloaking camp, sure, but period basis is a sequence of basically 2 pipes, so it's very easy to see hostiles moving up and down the approaches. If it's not cloaking camp, which makes it very easy to super red in there effectively, much in the same way that Omith and Paragon Soul work, right?
Well, that's why it's that. I mean, perfectly safe is not even close to true, and
Super ratting is never perfectly safe anymore.
No, it's not even. Yeah, and then just like there were like, I mean, I ripped into it like crazy because we were having a good old time with it. But it was just like a lot of the stuff was like either assumptions that aren't true, don't make sense, or it's like I don't know why you would think this is true. But I went all into that on Thursday, so I'm not gonna re-minute to it today. But that was like one of my biggest like. The second Pickle said it, I was like, "What the fuck?"
I'm more than happy to explain your assumption or explain it with the assumptions if you want, but usually we've got to.
We have 4 minutes. So.
While you guys are bitching at each other about period basis, I want to address something
Go ahead,
very, very dear to my heart. Someone just said he remembered when Goons betrayed CO2 against NCPL.
What?
Dude,
Didn't it go the other way?
Seriously. CO2 took from me what was the most important thing in this game.
I know what that is. You say it.
My favorite French FC, Sebastian. He is now gone because CO2 betrayed us, and he didn't want to backstab us too, so he'd rather quit the game. And because of that, Sebastian is no longer here. I am a heartbroken German.
I liked Sebastian too. I did like him a lot, and it's a shame that he's not in the game anymore. But he,
the Gospel of Mist.
I remember when that happened. I had just sat down at my PC after I got home from work, ready to jump into the fight because it was a big deal, right? We were defending CO2 stuff, and then all of a sudden that ping came around, and I'm like, it just blows.
I came in after all of that, so I don't have any personal like vendettas like that. This obviously does, but I kind of wish I had been there to see what things were like then.
I still like the old CFC days. Those were fun days, and I like being called the CFC. It was fun.
Are we gonna do final thoughts, or
we should run around and do the final thoughts here. Let's see. Looking at, and Billy, you will get one too, because everybody who participates in the show gets a final thought. Somebody who was on didn't think they were going to get one that joined us last thing, and I'm like, why wouldn't we give you one? Give everybody one. So let's start with you, Mac.
I actually don't have that much, to be completely honest. Nothing's really coming to the forefront, as it were.
are you looking forward to turkey dinners in Christmas time or goose or whatever you're gonna do?
I look forward to not hearing Christmas tunes for maybe like a few more days, and then it's fine.
That's why you don't come visit me in the U.S., isn't it? Because right after Halloween, we play Christmas tunes in this house.
Yeah, because,
November 1, baby.
You guys are Christmas tune mad for whatever reason. I don't know.
I had parents with Hallmark stores. I'm sorry, we started in July. So
yeah.
All right, Soth, let's go to you.
So there's a lot more people around now. Again, I am working on Anger Games again. It's a little tournament I used to organize. If you want to help with that, if you got experience with tournaments and you want to help with the rule set, if you maybe want to help with refereeing or any of that, do hit me up. I don't care what group you are in, right? In half a year, in a year, everything's going to be different anyway, and no one really cares about politics shit, right? So if you want to help with Anger Games, hit me up. And that's it. I don't have more.
All right, Don?
My final thought is I'm really fucking tired. I'm running on about 4 hours of sleep. And I just look forward to seeing what comes next with this new Keepstar. Either way, whatever happens. And hopefully I can get some sleep here
Yeah, I will vouch that when Dawn came on in pre-show, I was like, Dawn, are you even awake? What's going on? That's the sleepiest I've ever heard you. All right, Billy, you're up. Final thoughts, sir. Uh-oh.
You really died.
I think maybe he was called away to deal with something.
Your turn.
There he is.
I forgot I had to press push to talk here.
You're the only one in the channel with push to talk.
You're literally the only one.
No,
like,
no,
using
I'm on push to talk to. You
Oh
can
my
hear me
God.
breathing.
Dawn, Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
But we talked about this.
Crazy. I'm just gonna say shout out to all the great people in the Imperium, doing good work, fighting the good fight, trying to stop us here. Appreciate your efforts. Have fun. Enjoy the war, whether you win and losing or other. We'll be here until you either beat us, or you kick us back out, or so on and so forth. It's great playing with you, and I hope you guys all enjoy the game EVE Online.
Thanks, Willie. I just want to wish everybody in the United States an early Thanksgiving, because we won't be here until after Thanksgiving. We will certainly have our food section, back next weekend with all the good details of all the food. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
No, and we'll talk about Eve. And next weekend we'll be talking about this dead Keep Star, probably. It probably won't be here.
It's gonna take
Yeah.
longer than a week to kill it, even if we
No,
try.
we're goons. We can do it faster than a week, because we're goons.
Eric,
What?
how Citadels work.
I know. I know.
What you meant to say is next week we're going to talk about how we flip that keep stuff with the director's fight.
Oh, you mean when Billy comes back to Goons?
Yeah,
Okay. Hey, Billy, thank you for coming on the show. That was kind of an impromptu thing, and I'm not even sure how it happened, but I do appreciate you coming. And like everybody said, you're welcome anytime. We have lots of guests that come on from all places in Eve, so thank you for joining. And thank you to everybody out there. This might have been our highest attended show ever. So we kind of got meta show numbers, So shout out there to Brisk. You guys got to pump up the numbers this week, man, because we might crush you in the ratings war over there at INN. So, all right, folks, it's been a great day. Billy, looks like you got a little crazy. The stick out there is getting a little out there. You know what I'm
Don't
saying?
point that out, Eric.
He knows. They all
Just
know.
let it happen.
Like their comms aren't going crazy about it already.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he's baiting.
Yeah. It is what it is. He's got like his little escort ships
See,
flying with them.
You say that, but I've already seen plenty of ships accidentally hit approach when they meant to send their fighters off. Or,
I'm 99% sure it's or something else. Otherwise, they'd be trying to bounce him back to the keep star, not out. So
are you saying I shouldn't light this sign up?
I think you're more than welcome to light your sign.
Yeah, how far away distance-wise is that? Because you're undocked for your Titans.
We're streaming
within
it.
range.
Billy knows it's happening.
And if he doesn't, I'm sure he's got
The
a whole
people-
bunch of test nerds saying that it's happening to him.
The stream chat's going, untether. Hey, no, I'm not joining the fleet. Okay. So hey, we'll see ya. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching. We're here every Saturday. Everybody have a great day. Thanks, Philly.
Hurry out.
Almost. We're still talking. They can hear us.